Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking a little bit about self-care. And I feel like self-care is something that we have probably all heard about at some point in our lives, especially in the last 6 or 7 months with everything going on with the pandemic. I think that self-care has become even more important than ever. And today, what we're hoping to do is really get a better idea of what self-care is, what it means to participate in self-care, and maybe brainstorm some ideas about what self-care strategies would be best specific for you. So to start, what is self-care? Like I said, I think this is a phrase that at times can get thrown around a lot and we hear a lot about it, but what is it exactly? So self-care is something that you are regularly participating in to take care of yourself. It can help with your mental health. It can help with actually all aspects of your health, really, not just mental health. It can help with your physical health. It can even help with things like maybe promoting healthier social interactions with people, because as we know, our mental health affects a lot of different areas of our life, right? So if we're able to support our mental health in a positive way, that's going to carry over into other parts of our lives, like our social life, the way that we're performing at school, the way that we're performing with the way that we're able to be a friend, or the way that we're able to be a good family member. If we're not taking care of ourselves like that first, it can be hard to be able to fulfill those other tasks. It can help decrease your stress, can make you feel more relaxed, and it can make you feel more calm. And it's something that you can do by yourself or with others. And something that I think is really important to point out about self-care is I think sometimes we think that whenever we do something that is fun or that we like, it's considered self-care. But what's really important that we know is that self-care is something that we want to set aside a period of time for regularly. We want to carve out that time for our self-care. And that means kind of like how you might go to school you might go to math class from 2 to 3 or something like that on Tuesdays. We want to have a similar approach to our self-care. So that means on Friday nights from 5 to 6, I am going to do blank for my self-care time. And we want to try to instill those good habits of putting our self-care on our calendar, making it a regular habit that we're doing so that it doesn't get pushed aside and we don't get into the habit of kind of it coming last or not remembering it. So I think that's really important.
So along with self-care, what really to make it easier for you to kind of figure out what is good for you is what's a toolbox. So sometimes for a self-care toolbox, you might think only one thing works really well for you, and it could be maybe having a special meal, or it could maybe go for a run or read a good book. And sometimes that just doesn't work for you at that moment. Maybe for some reason you're way too tired from a long day to go for a run. So what the toolbox really is, it's something that you can use as for more ideas that would be helpful for you for your self-care. Like previously stated, it could be with people, or by yourself. So if you want like to spend time with your family, that's something in the toolbox that you can put in. And when you're able to do that, to meet up with your family, that's when you can pull that one out. So things like that. So what can you have in your toolbox? Really, the whole point of self-care is, the keyword is self. What's important to you? What helps you kind of relax and take a deep breath and really kind of focus on you? So kind of like some ideas could be maybe taking a bath, or maybe it could be reading a book that you really enjoy that relaxes you, or it could be drawing or painting, really anything for you and what makes you feel like you are taking care of yourself and your own mental health can be put into the box. Some people use also the word tool like belt, just like, when you see construction workers, they easily pull things out. That's kind of like the same context with this toolbox, is really when you are able to cut out that 1 hour of time, what do you want to do to relax yourself and what makes you feel good? So really it is about you. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and going off of that, I think that it's important also to know that self-care is not one size fits all, right? So what works for you might not work for one of your friends. And similarly, some people might like to do self-care by themselves, like we've talked about, or for some people, self-care might work even better when you're with somebody or a group of people who can kind of engage in that activity with you. And that's okay too. It's really whatever works the best for you, and paying attention to what you feel like when you are engaging in self-care. The goal is to, decrease your stress and leave the situation feeling recharged and ready to take on your next piece of life, whatever that might be, whether it's going to school or going to a friend's house or doing a project, going to practice, whatever it is. You want to leave your self-care feeling like, okay, I am ready for this. And going back to the toolbox that we had talked about, it actually is a physical box or a physical place that that you can go to have these strategies. And I think that one of the reasons that it's really important to have one of these toolboxes is because there may be moments in our lives that we can't think of good self-care strategies because for whatever reason, maybe we're not in a super good place mentally that day. And maybe we're just like, oh, I cannot motivate myself right now to think of something that'll make me feel better and help my mental health. And in those moments, you have access to this toolbox, and it's either a drawer or a jar or a box, and you can decorate it however you want. Or even just like a folder that you have of a list of certain ideas that you like, things that have worked for you. Coloring pages, maybe coloring is what helps you. Maybe that's what relaxes you, but also kind of re-energizes you. You can have coloring pages in your box. You can have a list of your personal strengths in the box for those days that you need that reminder of, okay, you know what? I do have all of these wonderful strengths when we're maybe feeling a little bit down. So I think that having a physical place that that you can go to seek out these strategies or as a reminder of things that you can do for yourself is always a really beneficial thing to have around you somewhere.
And just like going off of that a little bit, is you can also decorate it any way you want. So just to really make this kind of like a special place for you with all the things to help you take care of yourself. Thank you so much for listening. We wanted to have a reminder that the school is still offering counseling during this time when we're not on campus. So if you have any questions about maybe for your student, or if you are a student, if you kind of are interested in counseling, please contact the administration at your school and they can help you with the referral to get it set up so then you can see a counselor. Thank you so much.